Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. This time around, we ended up making it to tier 39, but as we'll discuss, it could have been better, like usual. So first things off, I goofballed this week on our initial setup here. My plan was to have a formation kind of like this, but then I kind of forgot Rouse attack speed doesn't actually proc on Ascended Leg Yarn in this position. So yeah, kind of awkward. We're also intentionally making it easy for Legendary to corner Legendary Prom in case someone wants to do that. Definitely saw a bit of that this week. But here we go with the shenanigans here. Brave Erica up against Brave Edelgard is going to get her 80% damage reduction, but she still takes quite a bit.
I won't back down.
And picks up the 1-round KO of Ether. Now she's up against Odor.
Quiet, scum!
Gonna get a decent amount of damage with Odor Shell, but not enough to kill, of course.
You
and
can't
now
stop
she can
me.
heal back with Ether. But she doesn't kill, so he gets to retreat, and Crom gets to move a bit more than he usually gets to, thanks to his Mercy. And now we're goofing around with Hard Trace on Ascended Leg Yarn, so he just runs away, which is not advantageous for us here.
Goddess guide me.
And Odor, unable to one-shot Altina, just allows her to pick up the kill, and now she's in vantage range. But once again, Leg Yarn rallies, and this time she's not going to run away. So Loki is a gunner. Rom gets used to change fate, but Duma and Ascended Leg Yarn in the way, so it doesn't matter here. Of course, he's debuffed now. So that just means free real estate for Emil Robin. And now at this point it's basically GG because of course it's not like Duma's actually going to be obliterating units here.
I'll cut my own path.
But at the very least, Olivia survives Brave Edelgard because she didn't do enough damage. And same thing for Duma here, not enough damage. Kill.
No mercy.
And so now she gets to deal back with Ether, and they're just chilling. Although the Ether structures are tucked in the back, so not convenient to pick them up, but it can be done. I don't know at this point if they're going to want to do it, or if they even can, honestly, because Olivia's kind of at low HP and she's ready to go attack with a special. I guess they could have maybe stalled with male Robin, but meh. Anyways, speaking of which, the audio balance is of course way off because I do have to speak relatively loud for it to balance out. Feels bad, man. Happened in the Resonant Battles episode, didn't talk loud enough, but what are we gonna do about it? I'm just gonna go ahead and hit end turn here because, I mean, what are we gonna do against save units when we don't have enough damage output coming out? Brave Erica can't one-shot Arden, so he's going to proc Ignis, and of course it's going to do a ton of damage. So, of course, if we do manage to one-shot them or survive and kill, that doesn't another big Ignis. Kill. Of course, they have lane for healing, so it doesn't matter that he's taking this much damage.
Prepare to die!
And Ascended Leg Yarn again, she's not buffed, so she didn't even get her weapon effects going off, but it doesn't really matter. Legendary Crom is, of course, much weaker in our anima defense, so he just has no chance of picking up the kill here. And at this point, it's basically over. Speaking of over, on offense, we did alright this week. relatively clean wins. A lot of turn 1 shenanigans we had to face
Ain't
this
no
week.
way I'm gonna
Most
die.
of them were just stay out of range, let the duo cigarette go dance, and then snipe him down and leave. That's pretty much the main strat,
Unstrung and you're
except for this one
toast.
matchup, where I don't know what my brain was thinking. I was so brain dead at that point. It was like a long day of work and whatnot, so not very good results there. We ended up doing something similar. It was another turn 1 team, but the catch was that we didn't factor in our brains that when turn 3 happens and the bolt tower goes off because we waited turn 1 and then attacked in turn 2, there's a skill called Odd Tempest that activates on turn 3. So I was under the assumption that I could just bait out Mirabilis, who was in front of an Odd Tempest Saros, and then just win after that, but then that of course didn't happen because Saros had Odd Tempest, so she just sniped down 2 of my units. Minus 60 lift for Peronis. But it's not the end of the world, I mean. As you'll see, it probably cost us top 1k, assuming, of course, all the defense results following that match would have been the same. We would have been able to make top 1k, but it's not the end of the world. And of course, this team has no check to Winter Altina, so it's just going to be a Vantage Fleet.
Let us celebrate.
Pretty standard. That's pretty much why you do need things like Duelist Hindrance, because if you don't, people can definitely sweep a lot of the popular meta defenses right now with Vantage. You can't really do this against the potato save balls, of course, because they're not going to initiate you.
Let us celebrate.
But, you know, other than that, Vantage does a really nice job if you can get set up. Here you can see that if Winter Altina didn't proc her special, he was going to miss the kill. That's pretty typical, and we're just gonna get steamrolled. Of course, it's just a matter of
Just like Fafnir.
pressures. So it's pretty free at this point to clean up. This isn't a very well-made defense, but it's typically most of our defenses these days. And here we go with Olivia doing a whopping 2 damage. I know someone was asking why I run Wodell plus Luna on Olivia. It's just because that's what I gave her. Because she has Wodell plus since I gave her infantry pulse from Marissa, and she also has Wodell, so I was like, might as well. And then we just have Luna because we don't have Wodell on Olivia.
Time to step
That's pretty much it. Moonva, the amount of times the special is going to matter on Olivia is pretty negligible. If it does matter, so be it. I don't really care too much for that. And here we go, more save teams. So what are we gonna do? There's also some simple things people do with slightly more advanced strategies to make this defense even more cakewalk, but you can generally phase tank as long as you have either knowledge about how the AI works or just a solid tank that can kill. If you don't kill, for example, Brave Erica, you might be taking a lot of damage. But like from range, I mean, Deadeye, Legendary Crom runs a few units that people like to use on as a far safe unit, like Henriette, but I mean, there's also this other popular far safe unit called Brave Hector that pretty much just lulls Legendary Crom every time. It's not like we can do much about that. We would just need to get Legendary Chrom Detect stat to an absolutely insane amount for us to be one-shotting. And it's not like null follow-up's going to help us out anyways, because we just don't do enough base damage in the first place.
Leave this to me.
But here, our meme layout kind of screws us over here because Ascended Legarn wasn't able to double Ascended Fuarm because she wasn't buffed. If she was buffed at all, she would have doubled. But unfortunately, we didn't have our setup quite right, so we just get absolutely obliterated here. End of story. Otherwise, we would have been able to get a kill there, and things might have gone smoother, more smoothly.
Your luck's run out.
But yeah, as someone who's been using one team on Ether Raid's offense for quite a long time now, I gotta say, healing is super important if you're not going to be able to take minimal amounts of damage. That's pretty much why I bring Brave Veronica
Pierce the sky, Maltet!
on offense during Astra season, because if we didn't have the healing, we'd probably get auto-walled by so many things. Because we would just take too much damage taking out units and taking counters that we wouldn't be able to survive, but
Stay resolute.
I don't know. Having a healer on offense is kind of a double-edged sword because you're stuck with that healer. And Brave Veronica, since we only have speed +3 as her A skill, her offenses are not great. But you know, here at least Odor gets to do some things.
Clear a path.
But Brave Hector's gonna feel a good amount here. And you get to attack again at least, but there's damage reduction this time around.
Pierce the sky,
Really
Maltet!
kick things up a notch. And they do pick up the kill there. I guess it was technically indirect damage reduction because of Lumeria, but same difference. Now here, they do this, and they probably just didn't notice it was turn 7. So they actually just timed themselves out. They obviously could have won the match, but clearly was going for... not entirely sure. Because you can't even go after the ether structures reliably here. I guess it would work, theoretically, I think, if they had more turns, but they didn't, so awkward. Here we are with a more random mishmash team kind of deal, but it's actually Gale Force with a level 20 Kai'Sa because bonus unit out of 10. Lots of Wings of Mercy I see here, not my personal favorites. Of course the gimmick is to use Thor with recoil damage from, in this case, Fury Seal and attack defense push 4 to get into Wings of Mercy range, and then Wreck House with Wings of Mercy. The problem is they don't have a reliable way to test traps with using Thor. They don't have a dancer, so it's even harder to set up. It looks like they're probably going to be going in the Brave Aerith route. The problem with that is that the catapult's kind of in the way. So, in terms of using Wings of Mercy to your advantage, it just basically ends up meaning you would have to go through Olivia, then you'd have to go through Odor. That just doesn't work, so it looks like they just decided to break it there. And now they can take up Duma. Now open up the room to take out Mirabilis. And again, like I mentioned earlier this episode, we intentionally have set ourselves up so people can corner Legendary Chrom if they so choose. Obviously, we don't need to do that. If we were trying to make our defense slightly better, we would just move the Ether Fountain or the Ether Amphorae to like next to the Bright Shrine, for example, and then just leave a space above Legendary Chrom so that he can attack if people try to corner like that.
For Fafnir.
But here, I'm not sure what they were trying to do here. They end up just getting Shamir one run KO'd by Odor. They probably just blitzed it out and didn't notice. But because Odor is in Wings of Mercy range, Legendary Crown
Give up now.
get out and snipe down Marth. Odor can pick up a kill here as well. Because even though Thor is a pretty solid unit, doesn't have a lot of HP, so if you take any reasonable bet, you can still get taken out. So Regan going to be able to bait out Olivia and survive, but they have a level 20 Kai'Sa sitting at the bottom. It's probably not going to end too well. And here we are with what looks like a more like the typical player phase kind of teams. We got some Gale Force here, we have Harmonized Lysithia, who's decent. And we have good old Legendary Erica with her new remix Fine and all that stuff. Definitely is a lot better than she used to be, but I don't know how long she's going to last as a unit. From a scoring perspective,
This is for
it
you.
does okay. I mean, you can effectively score like a 180 BST unit with our dual Cav 4, combined with the fact she has Lunar Embrace 2, but yeah, that's not great. And here we have the classic meme shenanigans, where we basically do nothing and leave
Don't
units
dawdle.
overextended, so they're going to take out Brave Erica.
Have a
Honestly,
pleasant
if Brave Erica could just survive attacks, she would definitely be doing a lot better than she is nowadays, but what are you gonna do about it? Also, she just doesn't have enough attack. They decided to bait out Ascended Leg Yarn, which is kind of interesting, because, well, she's actually buffed, so she's going to get a massive attack boost, and that's just one-shot capabilities right there. And probably because of that loss, they end up surrendering. If you haven't noticed already, we did change our layout mid-season because I realized we kind of goofed our placements, but yeah. We're even running HP attack on Brave Erica to give her some more HP, but it's still not enough. We're running Hone Cav because honestly Odor doesn't do much with attack, defense, menace regardless. And we're just goofballing with Vantage Duma. Doesn't actually do anything. A lot of the times it's just like if we're running one thing on Duma, it would have been better to run the other thing, but here we have the classic, what's his name, Fallen Dimitri shenanigans with his Canto and whatnot. They have safe defense here as well, so they can just safely attack Duma and leave. They even get Gale Force here, so they take out the catapult because they can, might as well, because they're going to be initiating into us. And now they have set up Wings of Mercy, so they can go ahead and sweep again. And unlike the previous person, you're not just going to casually miss the kill on a unit here and cause themselves more problems. But yeah, I feel like if we started out with this layout, we would have done better on that one match against the Ascended Bjorn, but otherwise, not much would have changed, honestly. Because again, we just struggle for damage output. It's pretty easy to Gale Force this team, especially since you can just corner Legendary Crown. And there's no real scary shenanigans. There's pretty much just the rally on Ascended Legion, and that's about it. And for some backstory, this is actually the person whose team where I'll drop 2 units from goofing to the odd Tempest arrows. So they're pretty much just mimicking what I did, minus activating the tramps, so they failed that part, Catla. But yeah, I broke all the structures like I usually try to do, and then it just so happened that I finished on turn 7. But yeah, that was not part of the plan, it's just how it went. Breaking the structure safely and whatnot. And also, I think I fed a kill for SP farming. So yeah, 10 out of 10. And here we go. This team here, we got ourselves Duelin. Also have Fafnir for some Kanto shenanigans. Of course, he also has Disarm Trap as well. A double Disarm Trap. It makes sense, but I feel like it's almost overkill. I'd rather have more tech capabilities.
Go for it!
But it doesn't really matter too much at the end of the day against our team here. So what they do here, since their safety fence is in column 3, they broke the catapults. That is one other flaw with this defense. You can just take out the catapult turn 1. It does require some specific tools or units, but it is possible
Only the
to do it
beginning.
safely. You can also just do it with Reagan as well. That is totally viable because you can just break the catapult from the defense tile and just canto out. So, not too big of a deal there. But here we get the meme rally, and so Duelin gets taken out.
Mission.
Honestly, I don't know why people who run these teams with like duo skills and harmonized skills available, why you would need to run away. Because most of the time, chances are you can probably just nuke. Maybe Ascended Leghorn was a problem, not sure. But at the end of the day, we still haven't figured out what exactly we're trying to do on Anima defense. Because the problem is, if we do something like, because we do have a decent amount of cabs and we have to use Odor for 7th slot if we want 7th slot because we don't have Saros, we could try to do a cav line, for example, but cav lines, especially with the calves we have available, would just get absolutely walled by save units, which of course are quite common nowadays, so it just doesn't seem like a great idea. But once again, we have a Winter Altina, so of course there's going to be a clean sweep. Nothing this team does to counter advantage other than if you miss the kill, which I'm just saying, if you're debuffed for attack and for running unity, some attack unity skill, and you're missing kills, something's probably wrong. Also, if you don't proc your special and miss the kill, it kind of makes sense because, of course, suggestion triangle and HP inflation is a thing. You can see here, this Winter Altina also misses the kill without procking your special. So yeah, the special is pretty important. Granted, they're not actually getting a huge res buff here for Twin Blades. We're only doing, it only does 4 there. Not a lot of damage, considering it's scaling off 40%. Do a lot better than 24. But, at the end of the day, decent attack stat. Of course, you have Null C Disrupt, so you don't have to worry about Wind Sweep and stuff. So, all is handy and dandy when you can activate your Harmonized skill. Which, of course, against any normal team, you're not going to just be able to freely activate your Harmonized skill, because, of course, they're going to have Duelist Hindrance. We don't, and this person doesn't have some seals. And, Bride Bjorn once again unable to isolate Olivia. Feels derp, man, but they can isolate enables, so it doesn't matter. So, this is another issue with the defense. The trees in front of the defense panel are just advantageous to the opponent, not us. So they can just set up for free to go hit and run and do whatever they want. They have their duo skill available, they have duo's indulgence. It's just like, why wouldn't you sleep this
Prepare
defense?
yourself.
If you don't sleep the defense, something's probably wrong. Go for the dancer, take out Odor, that's interesting.
You're finished.
That wouldn't be my product choice personally, but I mean they have Mirable's isolated, so they don't have much to worry about.
Lynn, you're
Just have to make sure to not end turn and
Accept
ascend
your
the blade
punishment.
or bring it to the win. That definitely would not end too well. So of course, because Mirable's is isolated, it's just free overextension because of aerobatics. So
Let's
then
celebrate.
Blade Gun, of course, isn't going to take it to kill here. And so Ripperoonies to her.
Go for it. Accept your punishment.
Moonbow going down, unable to one-shot. And classic duo in fashion. Definitely relies
You're a
on
wonder.
having 2 attacks to kill,
You're
especially in
finished.
Ether Raids with inflation. But yeah, if you have a high attack stat, and you're doubling,
Go
maybe
for it.
quadding, you're going to be doing a good amount of damage.
You're finished.
Unfortunately, Duma isn't in vantage range. Even if he was in vantage range, he still misses the kill, so 10 out of 10. And with that, that's all the defense replays so far. We got pretty lucky on the order of things, although this one, we are currently not under lift loss protection, so if we do get another match, it's probably from a rematch, so we could potentially lose lift. We can track to see if that does happen, because we only got minus 40 lift so far, a minus 10 and minus 30. And as you can see, we are just outside of top 1k. I expected it as much, but yeah, we didn't lose those 2 units on offense. Chances are we probably would have made top 1k, but don't care too much at the end of the day. We do lose out on 10 Divine Codes Part 2, which honestly is the most relevant loss out of any of these rewards here, so... But granted, we do have 18,000. Which honestly is still not a lot because you have to have... Oh yeah, also just finished maxing out Legendary Crown of Favor, so all the rewards are taken there, which is nice. I think it was Infantry Dragon Flowers, which was pretty solid. Can't be mad about that. Allegiance battles, of course, now that Duo Dagger is a thing, everyone's scores are through the roof. I think the maximum score is 1064 now, so we are slowly dropping, but still a ways away to drop out of top 1k. It's just during wind and fire season that we are super darn close to dropping. In fact, probably the next time we get it, wind and fire, we probably will drop just because of the Duo Dagger point inflation. I don't know though, we'll see. Again, not the end of the world, but it would break our top 1k streak, not that I care too much about that. And well, Mjolnir Strike, we're just doing strike things. Continuing our tier 21 Mjolnir Strike streak, we've gone through, I think, 3 or 4 rotations now of every major season and have stayed in consistently. It's just that Dark Major and Astra Major, sorry, are the 2 ones in contention, although Dark Major, we score 852. I think the cutoff was 850 last Dark Major, which was a drop. It's usually 852. And Astra Major, we're still fine because we can just bump up our score by 2 and be totally fine. So and especially at the end of this month with the upcoming Mythic Heroes banner, assuming we get a reasonable amount of merges in Peony with this amount of orbs, we should be fine to stay in Dark Major and Light Major for quite a while. But anyways, enough rambling. We'll be back when the results drop in. And alright, we should be good to go here. Just outside of top 1k. Feels bad, but what are you gonna do about it? And I don't remember if I finished saying it, but for divine codes, for divine codes, you need 36,000 to get every single one from part 2, so just barely halfway there. Of course, you don't have to get all of the final paths, or the last manuals in each path, and if you don't do that, you save quite a few codes. But even so, it's just so many codes to get all the relevant ones that you would like. Ideally, of course, we would get all of them, but we can't. Because what are we looking at right now? Like, for example, I don't know if we would go on this route. It would probably be only for male Byleth here. Like something like this tree where we might want to go for Deadeye or something. Or, I don't know, maybe Spurn, Join, Drive, Attack. They're all 2,000 codes at the end of the day, but the whole tree is 6,000, so it's an interesting question. We still haven't used a single one of our normal Divine Codes Part 1. Probably should decide on what we're getting. Probably most likely getting Disarm, Trap, and stuff, but yeah, I haven't decided that yet. But until then, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!